The first temple is known as the Ardha Nari Ishvara, means half male, half female. Thus, like your mind is made up of consciousness and energy. The same ultimate truth of the mind, which is recognized as divinity, is the combination of supreme consciousness and supreme energy. These two things recognized as divinity. To symbolize that Ardhanarishwara, half male, half female, Shiva and goddess Parvati, that is symbolizing that supreme consciousness and supreme energetic forces. That's what has been explained. Because this form of an idol would have come later on in the medieval times, but anciently they explained the concept of these consciousnesses. Shiva word is used, means your existence in total thoughtlessness state. That is the meaning of Shiva means. And Adi Parashakti is the first name of goddess. So Adi means first, Para means invisible, beyond all comprehension. Shakti is energy. That's how it was recognized. And later on somehow it has come to be known as, worshipped as Mother Goddess. Because always energy, if it flows uncontrollably, it can be equally destructive. Like a tsunami comes or floods come, earthquakes come, anything can happen. That is always prayed to transform itself to be a mother concept who is always unconditionally loving to the creation and forgiving also. So to denote and symbolize that concept is the Nari, the woman concept is given as the half Shiva and half goddess Parvati. That is the temple there, Ardhanarishwara. My guru used to tell always that after Shiva and Parvati appeared before him after 12 years of his tapas, they conversed with him. That was the first time he saw them as male and female. Until then, every month Jangama sage used to appear, guide him, and then would disappear. Then he was woken up in the end of tapas. Then he saw a male and female figure standing there, but they were dazzling light around them, and it was dumbfound for him. But yet he mustered courage and asked, "Till now only I saw Jangama sage. May I know who you are and why are you standing here?" They say ki Lord Shiva said, "In this world I am worshipped as Lord Shiva. This is my consort, goddess Parvati." Then it came to Swamiji's mind, oh, the divine has manifested. They said, because of your destiny, we manifested as Jangama sage and made you to sit for tapas. And now we have manifested in this forum because of your destiny only. Your 12-year tapas is finished. Now you can go back home and you do whatever you want. Until now it was our duty to manifest and make you to do tapas because of your previous resolutions. But Swamiji had lost all desires. His mind has become totally purified as consciousness. He said, I don't have any desire to do anything now. Earlier I wanted to do business and look after the family, but just now nothing is coming to my mind. But if you have anything for me to do in this world for your sake, I am happy to do as long as the body is available. He asked God instead of God asking him what you want. Then Shiva said, you initiate people into this dhyana meditation technique without any discrimination of religion, caste, creed, status. Everybody is eligible to get this initiation. You teach them the meditation so that they have forgotten, humanity have forgotten themselves, and that is the basic reason they are miserable in the world. Once they realize themselves, they can overcome that miserable condition and they can achieve supreme peace. And then Swamiji used to tell ki they entered Swamiji's body. At this time, one time I had asked Swamiji significantly this question, ki we have always heard and read, when the individual consciousness merges with the divinity, that is what is known as self-realization. But Swamiji, you are talking that Shiva Parvati appeared and they enter your body. So what is this significant? To this Swamiji told, you see, the droplet falling into ocean and merging with that is the same. Instead, if the ocean flows on the droplet and engulfs it, is also the same thing. That's what happened with Swamiji. Shiva and Parvati engulfed me, simply. The I was lost and there was no individuality left. So that was how this concept happened. So to respect and remember that concept and experience of Swamiji, I got the Ardhanarishwara idol made and installed it. And always in front of Shiva, this bullock's small idol is kept. That symbolizes the mind. Always, we were taught in childhood, so when that is known as Nandi, to go near the bullock, and in between the horns, you just try to have a look at the divinity, the divine's idol there. That is known as darshan. Darshan means you getting through the eyes, you get to see God's idol. That means that is the mind. If it is left uncontrollably, the bullock runs hither and thither. Like that, the mind also keeps running here and there. So tie it by meditation, by looking focused, watching in between eyebrows. That is the concept of watching in between eyebrows. So that bullock is actually the concept of mind. The other one is Lord Vishnu's form, Venkateshwara or Srinivasa known as. His main pilgrimage center is place known as Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh state. It's very world famous actually. Millions of people go every day for darshan. All my ancestors, my family people worshipped. Since childhood, I also worshipped God in that form. So Srinivasa is the known as. So that's why I installed. Slightly Vaishnavites are more fuzzy people compared to Shiva devotees. Means if I go to any other temple of Lord Shiva, being a saint, they allow me to do arati also. But if we go to Lord Vishnu's temple like Srinivasa temple, they don't allow because my name is Shiva Rudra, Shiva's name. So they don't allow me to come closer. Okay, no, you are not eligible to do such arati. Only the priest can do like that. So just to overcome that so that I can do myself, I got it installed here. That is a simple story, that's it. The first one you all have seen, that's my mother and my guru's mother's idols. The opposite one is Lord Rama, his brother Lakshmana, and Hanuman's concept is there. So that's how these temples have come into aspects. A worship is a preliminary round exercise to practice single-pointedness of the mind actually. That's how it is taught. To simplify, if it's difficult for everybody to meditate and keep the mind into samadhi all the time, at least we keep it engaged to divinity by doing some chant, some worshipping, some prayer, standing. The idol symbolizes the all-pervaded divinity only. So it is something like I have explained. If you all remember, first time when we went to school as kids, first time our teacher gave a definition for space. The void place in between these two walls is known as space. Then we got into other high schools, college, as we grew up, we all realized that space exists everywhere, all pervaded. That is the knowledge expanding. But instead of that, if I tell space exists only in the classroom of my birthplace, you will all laugh. That is ignorance. So here also, when you worship an idol, it is simply symbolizes, because mind is used to a form and sound, all these things. So using the form, an imagination is given, this is God, you worship, you prostrate before that. As you prostrate, worship, slowly you fall in love with that, you become a devoted, and you meditate also, then you will realize the same divinity is all pervaded. That has to happen. Otherwise, if you keep fighting narrow-mindedly, that God is only here, this God is different, this God is different, it is ignorance. That's why it is said to only one God, so many names, so many forms. Like my Guru said, all religions are equal and honorable. Simply terminologies changes, forms might change, but the ultimate truth is one. It cannot be two different things. That is the significance. So they were standing, like Parvati was standing to left and Shiva was to the right. When they entered, Lord Shiva entered the left side of Swamiji, Parvati entered Swamiji's right side. That is one significance. Other thing also, because Swamiji was a yogi, he wanted to teach people to overcome blind faithism. It is always said that a woman should sit only to the left side of her husband. And also, wherever gods and goddesses are installed, if it is Vishnu, Vishnu's left side is Lakshmi. If it is Shiva, to the left side of Shiva is Goddess Parvati. But Swamiji had a bit rebellious mind also since childhood. Why should that be? Why can't it like this also? So that's why first he installed in Adivarapeta, in the temple where he did 12-year tapas. 1 year later he was installing Shivalingam, and to the right of Shivalingam he wanted to install Goddess Parvati also. Just to tell people ki it is not a hard rule, these things are only traditional practices. If by chance if a wife sits to the right side of the husband, nothing is going to happen. So one need not worry to tell these things. That is not the significant spiritual thing. Spiritual truths are totally different. You meditate and you realize yourself is what is known as. Otherwise, these things are all human-made traditional beliefs. Then once traditional belief is done, they stick to that one. Then the priest will argue. There also the priest argued with Swamiji. How can you do this one? This is totally wrong. In the Shastras, in the scriptures, it is written that Parvati has to be on the left side of Lord Shiva. Swamiji in a simple language told, they are husband and wife. Wherever they want, they sit. Who the hell are you to ask them? Question them. His nature was also like that. It was very truly. So that is the reason. Briefly, it gets a chance to get in touch with the higher consciousness, but because it is full of imaginations it's carrying, it will not be able to merge or stay there. It comes to this, its own world, it creates. Another world gets created, then it becomes a microspeck of the created world. That's what I was trying to tell. Now you have become a microspeck. You have not been able to merge or stay stabilized with the higher consciousness. So that's why with this mind, you cannot make the world disappear and you cannot handle this one. Only in Nirvikalpa Samadhi you will experience the universe disappearing. That's when you will become aware. This is only an impermanent dream type of, longer dream type of state that has happened. A higher consciousness, what I say, like I have explained earlier, the story Swamiji used to tell, in the beginning of creation, from the actual Parabrahman, the ultimate truth, that itself never created anything, that exists in itself, which is known as Mahasamadhi. From that, an enormous amount of consciousness arose and the creation happened. So that concept is known as the Brahma, which created Vishnu and Shiva. How? Brahma meaning the one who creates illusion but doesn't get involved with the illusion. He's totally outside and is aware, always aware. Vishnu sustains that created illusion. That is why he is known as the protector, Palanhar. Shiva withdraws back into the self. Shiva takes care that every individual soul eventually gets into detachment. That's why in the creation, always it should be frustrating to the soul. Everything that the soul wishes must not happen, and always the soul must not be able to have supreme peace in the world. You sort out one problem and tell me now, oh God, please only give me this small piece of land and I will be very happy throughout my life. But it doesn't happen like that. If at all God gives you that piece of land, for another piece of land the mind starts craving. You want a bicycle, if God gives you bicycle, then you want a motorcycle. You get a motorcycle, then you want a car. If at all it has to happen in the imagination, why not imagine the best car, BMWs and Rolls Royce? And after car you want a helicopter of your own, then you want a Boeing 747 of your own, like that. The mind keeps jumping and jumping and craving. Never-ending process of unhappiness happens. So that is the concept to explain, that's how it has happened. It talks of the concepts of this world, and so many times this type of worlds have come, so many times things are happening, and the worlds keep happening and keep disappearing, keep happening. So before death comes to you, you must try to merge with the self, so that you get rid of the entire process. Otherwise, if you get involved, if you try to know what all these things, then you will get involved. There, this happens. Even while talking so, Vasishtha tells, like Ramayana, Mahabharata are so famous for all Indian scriptures. He said, sometime Krishna had come first, and after that Mahabharata, Ramayana happened, Rama came. In some creations, Rama came first and then Krishna came. These things are mind-boggling. Anything can happen anywhere. So in one creation, you might be sitting here answering the questions, I might be there asking the questions. In another creation, you are sitting there asking the questions, I am answering the questions sitting here. It is all mind-boggling illusion.
And then there's the wrestling match.
Suddenly you will remember a football match, you want to go and watch that. Generally, creation and Shiva is the withdrawal force. So Shiva is shown always as a detached force, living in symmetries. He doesn't have his own palace or a loka, world, all such things. But whereas Vishnu is shown symbolizing, he protects, and this world he can give you. The Vaishnavas have tried to spread so that you all can worship Vishnu more than Shiva, that he can give you all the wealth and empires and everything, and he himself is very rich, to tell that. He is not a poor man. They try to tease, whereas Shiva is a very poor person, he doesn't even have proper clothes, so he wears only a tiger skin. So that is why he cannot give you anything. He can give you only detachment. So if you come to Vishnu, you will also get everything. So their Lord is always very nicely civilized and dressed very well. He has to have the emperor's kiritam, what we tell that one. God is given kirit. Devotees donate millions and millions of rupees kiritams that is made of gold. So that is the significance, simple, spiritually what I can tell. But if you ask a priest, he will tell a different story of his own. This is it is. Your thinking is different. Ask billions and billions of people. Ask Vladimir Putin, ask Blinken, and ask Joe Biden. Okay, why do you want to be the president? Why don't you get out of this illusion? People have their own assumptions. They want to live in the world. Many times people, after listening to my talk also, has asked, okay, what is wrong if we want to be in the world and we want to come back to the world? You're most welcome. You can come back, you can stay. Only when you are tired. Some blessed people realize the futility of this impermanence of this world. Finally, this is going to end. So that's what, like Nachiketa insisted, after 5,000 years, you die and he has to come back. Anybody, any other politician, he would have been very happy to accept, please give 5,000 rupees, I am happy to go back. We will see after 5,000 years what happens. So the thinking is different between human beings. You would definitely wonder, I also wonder, why is that people of this world are miserable? Simply if they find out about themselves, they can be so happy and at peace. That doesn't happen. That is the power of illusion that works, drags. I have heard stories from the Vaishnavite priests and all such people. They have their own concepts for total liberation. Whereas the self-realized master and the self-realization teachings are this. Because the ultimate truth, it cannot be visualized what it is. You have to merge with that one. Just like you need to explain what your mind is. Simply you will end up explaining the thoughts and visions that are in the mind, but not mind itself. It's almost impossible to tell what the mind itself is. That's what we try to explain. Nobody can show that this is my mind. You can show your hand. In the mind, this figure is there that if you are an artist, you can write it also. But the mind itself, what will you write? It is nearest clue is if it is a combination of consciousness and energy. Energy also, science also accepted energy, but nobody has seen energy as it is in the naked eyes. Simply through the elements or through the instruments, through the matter that it operates, it is recognized because of the presence of energy this is happening. This is the energetic force. Who has seen gravity? He only saw the apple coming down and said of gravity. Gravity is infinite, invisible. Because of gravity, he said, but was it possible for him to show that this is the gravity, this is what is pulling? He simply explained the theory. So like that, the ultimate truth is almost impossible to exactly tell. So many people, whom usually we call it as half-baked beans, they are not fully realized. They would have read the books or heard talks, all these things. Generation after generation, they try to explain in a different way. Goloka. Go means cow. The cows are in this world also. But because Sri Krishna was born there as a cowherd boy in that communities, and he used to take cows every day so that they could take the grass and all such things. What Sri Krishna taught was, precisely to the Western minds, respects the tools of the trade. You all understand this sentence, you know. In olden days, cows were considered great wealth and they were in abundance, and the milk was considered a great nutritious food for everyone. From the milk, butter and ghee, all these things. But they were hard workers, agriculturists. They could digest when they drank the ghee also. For this reason, Sri Krishna taught them, they were neglecting, humans were selfish. They were simply milking the cow, but not looking after the cow properly. So everything needed to be taught for those people in a religious way. So that's why Krishna said, ki, this cow has this angel in here, this Brahma here, this God here, this Shiva here, this Shankara here. Then you worship. So then everybody started worshipping. Worshipping here means show respect. Show respect means look after, take care. If you all respect Baba means you take care of this body. It's neat. Then you can sustain this body long time. And this body can be useful to all of you and many others also. But often people misunderstand. That is the same thing. The plant Tulsi is also medicinal plant. Lord Krishna only taught to worship Tulsi. Means look after Tulsi, that is high medicinal quality. Don't take it lightly. But now what people do, they will offer some that red kumkum powder and some turmeric powder and wash. But they forget to put water properly. Even if the plant is dying, they will come and put all the turmeric powders, everything and worship. To cow also, they may not give proper food to the cow, but they will put a tilak on the forehead. That needs to be worshipped. That is what is known as blind faithism. So now to attract some people, if you worship our Krishna, you will go to Goloka. The cows, where the cows go after death. They also don't know where is that Goloka. The one who dies also don't know. It is like something, if you kill those people who don't believe in our religion, you will go to such place where angels will be waiting. They never bother to verify or try to think whether angels will be waiting or who will be waiting, where will we go if we die. They simply go on cutting people's head here, calling it their own fight. So this type of blind faithism has happened in the world. So actually, what will you do going to Goloka? In this body or in which body? After some time, you will have to come down, they will say again. You are stuck to them. Is a Goloka permanent? Can you stay there in this forest? They will tell ki if you worship Lord Vishnu, liberation means you cannot become Lord Vishnu himself, but you will obtain a physical body as good as Lord Vishnu's. That is their explanation. This did not enter my mind when I was a child also. This doesn't seem to be a real liberation. This doesn't seem to be giving peace. Again you have another body, there will be a conflict. That's why I have told, luckily there is only one God. If there were so many gods, there would have been conflict amongst themselves for supremacy, just like humans keep fighting. So if you imagine a Goloka, you will get to see a Goloka, but you are delaying your actual liberation of the self-realization. So you will go to Goloka, then you will come back to the world, again you will be born as a human being, then again you have to quieten your mind. This has to happen. Then only the actual truth is visible. When the mind becomes quiet, not until then. This is my experience and my opinion. Swamiji did not know about that. He had not read any scriptures at all. He was just weaving sadis and dhotis so that he could earn money. That was all. And he was given this technique, and before that he did not know also. If anybody had told him to say, he didn't go to any spiritual school, any gurus, anybody.
Did that technique exist though?
Perhaps it existed in ancient Rigvedic era.
But it wasn't common, like growing
Not very common. Because medieval times the devotional path had come in India also. People knew the mantra chants and the mantras, to repeat the mantras only. So that is why very many people, masses, did not understand what Swamiji wanted to teach, particularly in India. Even now also, when we initiate India, some definitely understand, not that exceptional cases are there, but many Indians, by just closing the eyes and silently watching, which God are we trying to call? They think to call God means you have to chant a mantra, with a sound effect, with an imagination. I try to explain to them, when your mind becomes silent, that is the real worship of God. Because whenever it becomes silent, its attention turns to its origin, which is recognized as divinity. If you can maintain the silence for as longer as possible, that is tapas and meditation, it starts going towards its origin. Eventually it will merge. This process is what called achieving Nirvikalpa Samadhi, all such things that happen. But not many people do not know. Many teachers don't teach this silent meditation. They give you a mantra and they try to teach different body parts, the Kriya Yoga, this yoga, that yoga, Sudarshana Chakra, this chakra, but not this silent meditation, very rarely. Cobra is also symbolizes the mind going wild. So that's why Lord Shiva can control and keep it on his throat so that it doesn't run away. So you become a devotee. So that symbolizes, that is the thing, that's all. And during Swamiji's time also, some devotee has seen some cobra moving around there. So they got out of brass that type of several-headed cobra and they placed it on the dais where Swamiji was doing tapas. He got bitten by, in fact, few times he got bitten by, and he had gone unconscious also. His body had become blue. People even thought he is dead, but Jangama sage came and removed that effect and helped him to revive and go back to Samadhi again. So that blood was there. It was still in his blood also all the time. So sometimes any wound would become difficult to heal also for Swamiji's body. So he was bitten by a snake. Before that he was bitten by scorpions also. But the snake was the most significant. Once he was coming back to his temple where he was doing tapas after a bath in the canal bund. Then he saw a snake there. I think he was going to have a bath in the canal bund. He came out, the snake was on the way. He said, a yogi should not have a resolution because a snake appeared, I should go back. That means he was scared to protect the body. He simply tried to go, crossing the cobra, it bit him. And it was a lot of poison came out and then he fainted. Then Jangama sage came and helped him also to revive that one.
Babaji, there is a story that Swamiji used to say that later the cobra used to come and visit him.
Yeah, this Swamiji told me, I have heard from Swamiji's man, when Shiva Parvati had appeared, so Swamiji recognized the same cobra that was on the neck of Lord Shiva. Swamiji told that this cobra troubled me a lot. Then that cobra came down and it spoke like a human. Said, after I bit you, I had lost my peace. I was very much stressed out. I seek your forgiveness. Now you are equivalent to Lord Shiva. You have become a yogi. It prostrated and went back to Lord Shiva's neck before he disappeared. The Swamiji used to tell this. Lakshmi is Lord Vishnu's wife. And it is always said, Lakshmi resides in the heart of Lord Vishnu. That's the goddess of wealth. So Lakshmi was ATM for Lord Vishnu. You see, with the thoughts that are in the mind, you cannot obtain a permanent peace. Sometimes what happens, morning after a good rest, you would have been feeling fresh and mind is quiet for a short while. Then suddenly it starts imagining, if you have observed. When it starts imagining, it imagines all the pleasant things. Nobody wants unpleasant things. That gives a very refreshing feeling for a while. But as the time passes by, mind jumps into positive, negative, good, bad, happiness, unhappiness, and that peace is gone, is over. So it is not permanent. So now what one need to understand, by an imagination, you can never obtain a permanent peace. Because mind can give only what it imagines. If the mind could have remained in one type of imagination 24 hours, 12 months, then everybody could have gone for one positive imagination. But the mind never stops like that one for anyone. It is positive and it is negative, it is into happiness, it is into unhappiness. So that is why it is recommended you need to get rid of this imagination totally. In whichever means that is convenient for you, you feel. Not necessarily you should sit and close your eyes. If while active in this world, this technique is, if you develop acceptance, any situation, any result, anything should be acceptable to you. Whether this body is alive, it's acceptable. If it is not going to be alive, it should be acceptable. Then only the mind becomes quiet. Only that situation can give you supreme peace, final peace, once for all, where always it is silent and never any stressful thing happens to the mind at all. So this is the science of existence. So that is why all sadhanas are recommended. It need not be meditation itself, it can be bhakti marga, it can be any other chant. But what has to happen is, either you directly get rid of all imaginations just by watching, that is the highest technology, you are just watching, you stop thinking, and the thoughts and visions all dissolve, and you will experience enormous amount of peace which is inexplicable. You would never have experienced by any thought process, by obtaining any matter, anything in this world. Or first you have to make the mind become concentrated totally, then abandon that thought also, so that it becomes quiet. Only then a peace is obtained. In no other way a peace or happiness can be obtained. So when you are doing sadhana, any type of sadhana, so then it is carried to the next life also. It will continue. Say, suppose if you got a chance to have the spiritual inclination at the age of 30 or 40, you might get an inclination at the age of 5 or 10 itself, and you will be able to do more vigorously. You will try to wonder, okay, why this is like this, why this is like this, and you will go for. So it is always carried, it never goes waste. Whatever you do in this life, it will never go waste. For any reason, if the body dies and comes to an end, the mind carries its symptoms always. Until it doesn't achieve the final liberation, it will carry. Yeah, not simply the rebellious nature wanted to teach people these things are human-made and blind faithism for politically motivated ideas. That was the reason. Like he used to talk, there's a lot of political movements between Shaivites, Vaishnavites. Both got rid of Brahma by telling the stories that Brahma told a lie. In Vishnu Purana it comes when they went to find the end and beginning of the things about Shiva and Brahma. So Brahma came and told, I have seen the end. Whereas Shiva came innocently said, I could not find. In Shiva Purana, it is the Shiva whose end they wanted to find were Vishnu and Brahma. So Brahma came and told a lie. So thus he got cursed that you will not have any worship in the world, Bhuloka. So people believed and they stopped worshipping. He got sidelined, no temples were built. And now for competition and fight, only two parties. Like in America, Labour Party and Republicans and Democrats type. So Vaishnavites and Shaivites. So these are all politically motivated. That was one basic reason he wanted to establish Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. You can means his philosophy was you can worship God in any form, any name. Simply do not condemn others' beliefs, because it is all the same finally, one truth. That's what he tried to tell. For to do that, his nature was rebellious. Rebellious means if people threatened, if you worship Brahma, you will be cursed. You may lose your limb, you will lose your hand. He never bothered. Let me see if I lose my limb. Or this is the story he used to tell in his childhood. Many people used to come hypnotizing people and claiming to be this and that. One person came to the village, he used to claim, if you don't give me proper alms and money, I can turn you into a tiger. He used to threaten. So villagers were innocent people, ignorant, so they will be scared and they will be wondering. Then Swamiji told his uncle, look, I don't want to believe this man. I will challenge him. But you do one thing, keep a big rope in your hand, uncle. If at all he turns me into a tiger, I will definitely recognize you that you are my uncle, I will not harm you. But immediately you must tie me to a tree so that I don't run away to the forest. As a child, that was his thinking, that was his mind. But he was not afraid. Let me challenge, let me see what's going to happen. Then he challenged, now come, I am ready. You turn me into a tiger. He did boom, 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 nothing happened. Then Swamiji took a stone, now bloody, I am going to break your head if you don't run in 2 minutes. Then he ran away, gallop, Swamiji used to tell. So that was the rebellious nature, means he was bold, do or die, that's it. After all you are going to cut my head, what else you can do? To find the truth. Often he used to tell, often we accept the non-truth as a truth out of panic, out of fear that they might curse us, they might do us something wrong. You don't even want to question the gurus. What is the truth? Why is this like this? Many gurus, if they don't know, they don't answer properly. They will simply shout at you, they will annoy. Nonsense, you should not be asking all these questions. You are not supposed to. Just do what I am going to say. Like that they will shout. It is the attitude in the previous life that spins, means violent thoughts or non-violent thoughts, we can just generally tell, to simplify this one, the more non-violent, so you are supposed to become a better person, matured, noble person. For that, your parents will also be determined from whom you are going to, likely to get the first teachings or first observation that you learn from them. So that is how it gets determined. Means you don't have to think. It is not a thinking that I am going to have this person as my father, this person as my mother. Simply by a habit of thinking generally, which forms such violent or non-violent, based on that, a good pious parents you might obtain, or a wrong parents who are keep fighting with each other, and you get, you are not influenced by parents and you get affected, your childhood can get affected. For many people, childhood can get affected if the parents are fighting for selfishness and their own narrow-mindedness. So both are unable to look after. If both parents are together, loving and caring, they look after the child also very well. If the childhood is very comfortable, brought up very well, if it is not a troubled hood, so imagine the difference. Why? So this is all the previous lives. It is the same self from where this individual consciousness has come out. But before coming, it's like a button is pressed, the divine, this is the divine, the self, that will suck back this. It will be a matter of time, it is allowed to go for some time. But wherever it goes, except its source, it will never find peace anywhere else, in itself or in any other thing, because it ends up in imagination. Due to that imagination only it has gone. Finally, this will only attract, because another thing I have told, mind doesn't stop, because it is looking for the same peace that it had enjoyed by remaining in the self. That's why you give it anything of the world or the creation or the universe, it will never stop into that totally satisfied once for all, never happens. So that is the reason. So this same source will help that to come back. I told in other words, the divine has fitted springs called agony. In this world, agony follows happiness, happiness follows agony. It's a mixture and confusing all the time. You are unable to decide whether this world is all the happiness or all the unhappiness. This is what happens. So that finally, it is the divine's grace, it will take you back to the self. It is from the source, the enormous higher consciousness, from that the soul imagine. But these things, this has a magnetic field. For understanding only I am using the magnetic terminology. That's what commonly used in scientific world, astronomical world. So this cannot go longer, because this is connected to this only. So after some time, it will get into such situation where it starts doubting whether whatever it was doing all this time was worthwhile or something else is there for itself. So then it comes back. Once it has to put effort, for that also the button is pressed already, means like you are there, a guru is coming to you and is trying to teach you, means your soul has already pressed how I will go back to the self. That is determined already. It's a matter of time. So you had resolved that you will find a guru, and from that guru you will feel inspired and you will get the teaching and you will finally go back to the self. So that is how things will happen. It is your destiny which connects to that one. Such situations, such circumstances, in that way, that path, it takes you there. And as you put an effort, as you develop more faith and more inspired, more devotional, then the grace also, it starts catching the grace. As I have told, the grace is always flowing from the divine. It is there. This soul only simply catches that. It has to catch. As it develops devotion and faith, the grace descends on that one. Then it gets to get the truth. It could have been a previous life's connection. Somewhere you are connected, you are devoted, or you are doing that sadhana, that chant. For some reason, then you were born in the West, but it is bringing you to that again. You see, that got recollected. You had that experience unknown to you, unintentional. So it is all the previous connection. That's what we call it destiny. You are destined to get and destined to come. So this is how it happens.
So should I keep going with something like that?
Yes. You take it seriously, it will be beneficial for you. Because your mind takes it and it revolves around that one. It starts becoming more and more single-pointed. It gets more purified. That is the benefit always gets. So you should simply keep going. I think it's time. I come to the end for this session. Some very nice questions came, helping me to express my opinions and give my experience, what I learned from my Guru and what I observed during my tapas. May you all be blessed.